All right. Well, good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, depending on where on this earth you are joining us from, and welcome to another edition of the iFlip Mailbag Show. We have a ton of great stuff coming up for you tonight. Our trivia question or our trivia prize is going to be really fun because it's going to be kind of random, so everybody's on an even playing field. We have a bunch of questions that we're going to get to that you have all submitted through our customer ticket support system, and we're going to address a bunch of those tonight. And of course, joining me is my co-host Lee Gearhart. So welcome, Lee.
Hey, Aaron. Howdy, guys. Howdy, everyone out there. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. I mean, you guys are in for a sneak peek. We only have a couple of people here, not as many as we usually do right now. Hopefully, they'll get the announcement soon. But you guys are in for a treat because you are going to get a first look at some of the major changes that are to be coming by the end of this quarter, and a couple of more even into the second quarter. So before we get to any of that, though, we got to get through a bunch of questions. We have a little bit more than usual, so these are going to be kind of like rapid fire. Okay, so hopefully you guys are going to tune in. And for the mailbag show, I don't know if I've said this before, but we on the AI Circles with Kelly, we have a lot of content to cover, so it's not as much of live dialogue. But on the mailbag show, it is absolutely more of a live dialogue. So we encourage you to get on your keyboards or your phone, be engaged with us, ask us a question. We're constantly reading the chats, and we will do a back and forth. And you're going to want that, I bet, especially when we get to the announcements at the end. Before we get started, if you're a returning viewer, you like our content, please do us a big favor and help us with the YouTube algorithm by smashing that like button and subscribing. Make sure that notification bell is on so that you get notified every time we go live. All right. Now, for our first question for the evening, it's pretty simple, Lee. I'm going to keep it easy. I'm going to give you a softball.
Perfect.
For the first one. Okay. Now, let me get you up on the screen here. All right. Our first question for the day is, how do I link my bank account? Believe it or not, some people have struggle with this, and they don't find it as obvious as maybe it should be. So, Lee, if you could show us, maybe do a screen share and show us, how do you link a bank account to the iFlip app?
Absolutely. I'll screen share it in a second, and hopefully I have success with it. It'll be the first time on the restream doing the screen sharing, but it should be fine. So first things first, when linking a bank account would be applicable, that's in an individual account. So at least not right now. We wouldn't use it in an IRA or anything like that. So this is typically for individual accounts. What's also coming soon with corporate accounts and other ones, you can actually link bank accounts that way as well. So with that being said, let's share a screen here, and I will actually just get into the platform and walk you through it. So first things first, this isn't a new account, so it's going to look slightly different. I'll explain where you'd see it on the onboarding checklist in a second. But like I said, individual account, this is when you'd link up a bank account. We're going to go over to funding right here, and there's already bank accounts linked, but basically right here, you have to use your imagination. There'd be a plus button that would say add bank account right there. And then moving forward, you can either decide to transfer money to your iFlip account here, or you can even transfer to bank if you need to move money back for any reason. Now, I can't really get to the checklist, so I'll just explain it. Basically, on the home screen, once when your account is approved, your next step, regardless of the account type, is to fund it next. So on that checklist, number 2 is going to say fund here, click here, something like that. You'll actually click right there, and it'll actually take you right to where you need to go as well. So there's a couple different places to access it, but nonetheless, that's how you do it. And Aaron, do you want me to get into Plaid at all? Should we go a little deeper into it?
If you're able to demo it, then sure. But if you're not, then that's okay. I think that, we could have shown it on the mobile as well with Plaid. I think it's easier to show on the mobile, but I don't know how to share mobile on this.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah, so we'll load up some screenshots and stuff for the replay. But it really is as self-explanatory as Lee just described.
Yeah.
Okay. Now on to the next question. This might be a little bit more of a relevant question for people that are just getting started. Question number 2. How long does it take for my account to be approved? I assume this means specifically the broker account. Lee, how long does it take?
Yeah. So I'm going to assume the same thing you did, that we're talking about the brokerage account. So usually I give people a range of 5 minutes or so to a few hours, but nonetheless, it should be same day. So oftentimes when I meet with someone, if I help them set up their account by the end of the call, which usually lasts no more than 30 minutes or so, the account's all approved and we're ready to then fund it via either the bank link or some other method that we haven't necessarily discussed on this call. But it should be same day. Now, the only thing I will say is when I'm giving you that timeline, that's assuming that everything goes correctly. So there's no like fat fingering of a social security number or anything like that. So in addition to what I've already said, if you don't see your account approved that same day, I would actually check your email, make sure that we haven't requested any more information for you. It could be a simple fix, could be something's wrong or nothing's wrong at all. But just know that if it's been the same day and you haven't heard back that your account's approved, if it still says pending, maybe first try to refresh the page just in case. But other than that, check your email. Our team most likely reached out to you to request something so we can get the account approved.
Thanks for that, Lee. And before we go on, I guess people are actually taking me up on my offer that this is a live dialogue. So we have a couple of ad hoc questions that we want to get to as well. This is the actual show where that is welcome, you guys. So let's show one of these questions. Well, I'm just going to go in order here.
Yeah.
Tony Santiago asks, any ETA on the 2022 tax forms? Now, you're more familiar with this than I am on the typical timeline of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When should they expect to receive their forms in the mail?
Yeah, it was actually supposed to be today. They were supposed to get sent out. I actually got word this morning that it's looking more like the 17th. So it should be Friday. They don't anticipate any other delays. That's something that comes from Velox and the folks that they use to get that documentation out to everyone. So it should be soon, though. It'll be in the near future. At least I hope so.
Absolutely. Thanks for the question, Tony. And we're just going to go through these very quickly. The next question that we have is from Matthew C. Are there more countries available soon to join iFlip, such as Chile, etc.? Lee, I think this is another one I think you're more familiar with than I am.
Yeah.
What's our status on international?
Yeah, I think we actually had this question a long time ago as well. So nothing's really changed since then. But the answer is it kind of depends. Some countries we can set you up if you're international. Some we can't. It does depend. I think you said Chile. I'm not sure. Honestly, most of the places I've had success setting up international ones before have been in places like the UK and Australia. And so I honestly couldn't tell you yes or no on Chile, but I can absolutely look into it. And we can kind of go from there. But a great question.
Yeah, so this one is particularly difficult, Matthew, because there are some countries that are more difficult than others. And it's really a question of email us at support@iflipinvest.com and ask about a specific country. If it's Chile specifically that you're asking about, we can look into it. And there are some back end routing kind of paperwork forms and stuff that is required but it is possible for some of the countries. Is the best answer we can give you for right now. We got a bunch, but we're getting through them. Miguel asks, is there a way to join iFlip with an ITIN number, or do you specifically need a social security number? We briefly covered something like this, similar to this, on the previous mailbag. Lee, can you give us a reprise of that answer?
Yeah, it's somewhat the same way to ask the previous, or a different way to ask the previous question. The answer is somewhat it depends. It depends where you're located. Like the example we gave last time was Canada, I want to say, and they were like, "Hey, can I do it through my ITIN number?" Which to me basically is like an international tax ID number. I'm not sure if that's the exact acronym for it, but that's how I take it. Basically, a foreign social security number. Everyone calls it something different. So it somewhat depends. Sometimes we can, sometimes we can't.
All righty. And I think this is we have a couple coming in. What is the status of the crypto portfolios, Lee? Do you have a comment in about the crypto stuff?
I don't really. I haven't heard anything new. I again, we're still done with everything that we had to do on the development side to roll it out. Just kind of waiting some signatures and stuff like that on the back end, or excuse me, behind the scenes. Obviously, the FTX stuff didn't necessarily help with the ease of
Mhm.
doing something like
Mhm.
we're doing now, but I don't have really a great update.
Yeah, the short version of this answer, Noreen, is that iFlip is ready, but the everyone that has to fill in the pipeline after iFlip, like all the behind the scenes stuff, as Lee mentioned, namely Paxos, which is the crypto provider, and then and Velox, the broker, they couldn't reach an agreement. Plus the scrutiny, as Lee mentioned, from a regulatory standpoint, because of the whole FTX scandal, has increased. So it's what we are thinking of doing now, and this, we don't have a timeline for this yet, but because it's just been grinded down to a halt, we're looking at other brokers. That's the best that I can give you for right now. We're shopping around for brokers that will support this, because we know our AI is a good fit. Let's just start there. We know we're a good fit for crypto. We just have to be able to legally offer it to you, and that's where the sticking point is. It's not really. I mean, I hate to like deflect blame off of iFlip and make it seem like we're good, someone else's fault. But in this case, like we were ready to go, and we just ran into legal issues and approval issues and regulatory issues at the end of the day. All right. This is gonna be the last one before we move on to the questions that we actually had planned. And this comes from Shri Gupta. How often should we be reviewing our portfolios? Lee, what do you think is an appropriate time frame there?
That's a good question. I think what's really nice about what we do is it's not something you have to look at all the time. Like you obviously you have the AI that's able to execute trades for you. So it's not like if you don't look at it for 6 months that you might have missed a big opportunity because you could have gotten in or out of a trade. Whereas that's what obviously the AI does for you. So, but on the other side, I wouldn't say you want to switch them too often, just because you're somewhat limiting what the AI is able to do for you. If you're moving from one smart folio to another, well then you have to liquidate everything in that first smart folio, move it to another one. So basically, you're selling those positions, even though the AI might have wanted you to stay invested. You have the control to move it. I mean, honestly, pretty much whenever you want to, but I would say you can review it, once a quarter, a couple times a year, something like that is what I would think. But personally, I still use the same ones that I've used for the last few years. So I'm not sure if you have anything different to say, Aaron, but that's kind
No,
of
I
what I
mean,
think.
you said I was waiting for you to actually give a number, and you said exactly what I would have said, which is quarterly is it's our intention is for you to look at it every quarter. Now, do you have to? Can you look at it every day if you want? Sure. But the idea is for you to set it and forget it, go do something else with your time, because we all are busy. That's the intention. And every quarter it tends to be a good general rule of thumb. Now, there are some people like, I don't know, caught one of our veteran customers who have been with us for a year. He was on a YouTube video a while back, named Jose. He just set it and forget it, didn't look back until like a couple of years, and he just has the aggressive, and he's just happy with it. So it really, the real answer is whatever fits your schedule, your financial schedule. The intention, though, as a general rule of thumb, was quarterly is a pretty good rule of thumb. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much for all the questions, you guys. Like, this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted a dialogue for these mailbag episodes for sure. But we also have to get to some of the submitted questions, and we'll get back to that right now. So, question number 3 of the pre-submitted questions is, what is the difference between an IRA and a Roth IRA? Late, this is up your alley as well, so I'm going to let you take this one.
Yeah, I won't spend a ton of time on it just because of all the questions that are piling in on the live stream here. But basically, it all comes down to taxes, quite frankly, or pre-tax and post-tax dollars. So, and I'm going to make the assumption they're asking the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. Because there are SEP IRAs and other forms, but those are the two most common, I would say. So the traditional IRA, the money is put in pre-tax dollars, meaning it hasn't been taken out of your, say, paycheck yet. You've paid no taxes on that money. So as a result, when you inevitably at some point start taking your distributions from that IRA later down the road, they're actually going to take the taxes out then. So pay the taxes at the end. Whereas a Roth IRA, that money goes in already being taxed. So as a result, when you take the money out later down the road, once you get to retirement age, it's all growing tax free, and you don't have to pay taxes again on it down the road. So it's either pay the taxes on the money now or pay it later. And that's pretty much the only differences.
Yeah, really, the difference between these two types of accounts is, when do you pay tax? And the analogy that I've used when training on this subject is, think of like when you are driving onto a bridge, right? Some bridges you have to pay a toll as you enter the bridge. There are other bridges where you pay the toll at the end. Now, consider this is a bridge of life, where it's like you can either pay it this year or the year that you retire. Now, the toll, the price that you pay, is subject to change, because who knows, are going to go up. Do you think it's kind of like you're taking a chance or a gamble? Like, do you think your tax bracket is going to go down versus right now, where versus the year that you retire, or do you think it's going to go up when you retire? So that's the kind of game that you're playing there when we're debating, okay, should I contribute money to a Roth, or should I contribute money to a traditional? Now, we're not advisors here. We're not even tax professionals here. Those are just the facts. That's just me summarizing it in kind of layman's terms. You have to make that decision for yourself. Consult your tax professional to figure out which is the best fit for you. Depends on your tax bracket and income and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah. All righty.
Sorry, Aaron, just add one more thing while we're talking IRAs, and since it's getting close to tax time, the contributions for both a traditional and a Roth IRA, they're the same. So for 2022, the contribution limit was $6,000. And for next year, for this year, for 2023, it's $6,500. So you can still make those 2022 contributions right now for those IRAs that you had last year. If you haven't done so yet, definitely recommend it. Especially recommend putting it into the iFlip account. So go ahead, Aaron.
Absolutely. There's still time to contribute for 2022. I know I did that recently. I wasn't done maxing out my Roth for 2022. And so I did that recently. You can absolutely still do that and contribute for 2022. When is the deadline for that, Lee?
Tax day. So should be the 15th, I believe. It might even be the 19th of April this year. I read something on the IRS website saying the 19th, but just to be safe, put it in before you file taxes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have that knowledge offhand either. That's why I asked you, because April 15th is a Saturday this year. So obviously it's not April 15th. So they changed it. We think it's the 19th. This is not a tax channel. Sorry, we don't have that knowledge available for you guys off the cuff. But look it up. And so, yeah, you absolutely still have time. It's not April yet. You have time to contribute to your Roths and your traditional IRAs. Absolutely. All right. Let's take one ad hoc question that came in by MB Hurl. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Is what about setting up an account for a trust? We absolutely have this available, Lee, right? What is the procedure for
Yeah,
MB?
it's going to get a lot easier very soon
Yeah.
to set up a trust account. So right now, when you set up your account, you have the option of either an individual account in your personal name or some form of IRA, whether that's a traditional Roth, SEP, self-directed IRA. But we do have other account types we can set up, trust being one of them, trust, corporate, joint as well. They're just a little bit different process for the team to set up for you. It's a little bit more manually intensive on our side, but honestly, it's not a terrible amount of work. So if you have a trust all set up, if you already have an individual or a retirement account set up, it's even easier because the identity of your account has already been approved, and the trust isn't terribly difficult. But for right now, you won't see it inside of the app. Coming soon, you probably will in the next, I don't want to give it a timeline, I guess, but in the near future here, you'll be able to do it through the app. We just need, tax formation documents, trust formation documents and things like that to be able to set it up.
Absolutely. So in the meantime, if MB wants to get a head start on this, what should they do?
Yeah, I would submit a ticket to the support team, support at iflipinvest.com. Just say, hey, I was watching the mailbag show tonight. I want to set up my trust. What sort of documentation do I need to provide to be able to do that? And we can help you out.
I am going to put that email address on screen here so that you can take that down. It's just support at iflipinvest.com. And I'll bring that back up throughout the show as it becomes relevant again. All right, on to our pre-submitted questions. Now, question number 4 is, why do some manual trades have a fee? Lee, I believe this is coming from their when they look at their account screen, their account activity, and they see like several cents charged as regulatory fees, and they're like, "Wait,
Yeah.
I thought this was a commission-free brokerage. I thought this was commission-free trading. What's going on here? Can
Yeah.
you explain this for us?"
Yeah, so it's not a commission that's being charged by any means. It's basically FINRA and the SEC as I'll call them the regulatory bodies. They charge, it's like a cent or less than that commission, I guess you could use as the terminology for any sale side of the transaction. So if you're selling a lot of shares, I think it amounts to a few cents, but and it's not like it's an iFlip thing, it's an everywhere thing. You do that at Fidelity or Schwab, TD, you name the place, it's all there. Whether you see it on a statement or something is maybe a different story, but everyone's charged it. We're not trying to nickel and dime you or penny you in that sense, I guess. It's just what the regulatory bodies add on to any trade just for being the oversight, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that kind of money, the few pennies you might be seeing, is not going into iFlip's pockets at all. We promise you that. It is going to FINRA, the SEC. It's the regulatory bodies, and that's part of how they make money. They a lot of the other apps, they mask that. They build it into the spread or the bid and the ask or something. But we're all about transparency here, and so we show you that, hey, 4 cents of this transaction went to FINRA or the SEC or whoever is actually taking that. It did not go to iFlip. So technically, it is not a commission. It is not a trading fee, is the technical term. This is still a free to trade platform. The way that a fee would be charged before, like long time ago, for example, I remember like my E-Trade account, I'd have to $7
Yeah.
to get into a trade and $7 to get out. Can you imagine that back in the day? Good thing we don't live in that era anymore, right? All right. Let's see now. Question number 5. What does buying power mean?
Yeah. I think
Lee,
I'll
can you
share.
explain?
Yeah, I think I'll share screen for this one as well. Just so you guys know where to see it, mostly. Um, all right, so here we are. So there are a couple places to see buying power. One of which is right here. So under your total account value, it'll tell you the money that's inside the account, the change since inception, and then here's buying power right here. So in this account, there's about $9,700 in buying power. Another way to see that is in this account tab right here. So in your iFlip wallet, it'll tell you any pending cash that you have, any buying power that you have, and also the withdrawable cash. So right now, these two are the same. Basically, buying power is the cash that's sitting inside of your account that isn't invested into a smart folio or into a stock that you might have bought manually outside of the AI. It's basically cash just sitting there in your account. That's somewhat intuitive. It's the money that you can use and then go buy into different smart folios. It also so happens that basically once the money is initially sent into your account, it's going to be pending there for a little bit. And then once it transfers into that buying power section, which again is right here or on the home screen back here under this total account value section, once it loads, that's the money that you can go and invest into the different smart folio options. Sorry, it looks like my computer's slowing down a little bit, so I'm going to stop the share.
Yeah, and just in case, I have a hunch that this question came from somebody who has a little bit of active day trading or swing trading experience. I think they were asking, in addition to that, this because I think this came in as 2 parts about how to increase their buying power. And if you're familiar with other trading accounts where you're offered margin, which is essentially a fancy way of saying you can borrow the broker's money to buy even more stock. If you deposited $1,000 and you have a margin account, you might see that your buying power is actually $2,000 because they'll let you buy double what your what you've actually put in. Okay, so they're giving you additional buying power. Now, if you get fancy and you get into the derivatives, and now we're not a trading platform, so we don't offer this kind of stuff. But if you get into options trading platforms or futures trading or forex, you can get crazy amounts of leverage and margin, and your buying power skyrockets like crazy. And that's where a lot of people can either make a lot of money, but where most people actually lose a ton of their money as well, because it's just too much too fast. And unless you really know what you're doing, it can be a really dangerous environment to be dealing with money. So we don't offer any of that here. Like, that's not what we're about. We're here for in the iFlip environment, $1 that you deposit is $1 worth of buying power. Okay. Now, it's just a common industry term, so we just use it. We just use what everyone else is using to describe it. Okay. Question number 6 is, can a person build their own portfolio, and will the iFlip AI manage it?
Yeah.
This is a very exciting question for me because it's one of my favorite features of the iFlip software. But Lee, take it away. I believe you have a demo for this one as well.
Yeah, I'll share screen again. And while I'm doing that, if you guys have been tuning in lately, drop a comment if you remember how many stocks the AI can manage.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the off the cuff trivia here.
Yeah.
All right. So how you customize a smart folio and have the AI manage a custom portfolio for you is you'll click on this invest button on the top right here. Now, if I, and you'll see the conservative, the moderate, the aggressive ones. If I want to customize my own, I just click on this plus button right here. So I'm going to do that. At the top, we're going to give you about 25 or so that we would consider like popular stocks that people add to their smart folios. I'm not going to create a robust one or anything, but let's just say I wanted Microsoft, and then maybe I wanted some Costco. Maybe that was my portfolio. And I just wanted them to be 50-50 allocated equally to each. I can do that just like that. I can give it a title. So I could say like micro, and I'm just going to put cost. Why not? I can click there, and I could actually save it right here. I'm not going to, but I can save it, and then I can see the track record on it. I can invest into it. So if these are like the only two things you wanted to own, you could easily do that. And oh, by the way, you can do this in addition to using any of the pre-built ones as well. So that's kind of how you do it. Whatever you put in it, it's obviously up to you. And let's see if Aaron, has anyone gotten the number correct yet?
We got one guess for 640, which is close.
Pretty close.
Right? Pretty close, but it was actually the last time we ran this trivia, it was actually 654. Lee, I was going to actually have you, because we're very low on time here. We're technically overtime, but we had so many great questions, so I'm okay with it. For our last question, I was going to ask you to keep that screen share up because I think it's very relevant. Because our last question for the evening is question number 7. How do I invest into a smart folio?
Great question. I should have just kept it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but
so same spot under this invest button, and this kind of actually ties in a lot of the questions that we've gotten tonight. Let's say I wanted to invest into the SP 500 portfolio. Notice again right here, I'm going to see my buying power again of that 9,700 or so that I have that I can invest into the portfolio. We see the minimum investment for this S&P portfolio right there. And all I do is enter the dollar amount that I want to go into this. So maybe 1,000, click review investment and then submit it. And it will allocate $1,000 into this S&P portfolio.
And it will buy into, if the guy wants to buy into the S&P 500, it'll execute that buy on the next trading day. So today is Wednesday, it would do it tomorrow, or if it was a Friday, it would wait till the next trading day after the weekend. Yep. Okay, so now that does it for all of the questions for this evening. But we have, like I said in the beginning of the show, we have a ton of cool new stuff coming that I can't give you. I mean, we're out of time, so I don't have time to give you the full announcement, but you guys are the first ones to hear about this out of anybody, and that's your bonus for joining us live this evening. And then we'll get into the trivia question for today, because it's super simple. So that being said, if you've been listening passively and you're treating it like a podcast or whatever, the trivia question is coming up soon for these announcements. So you want to be near your keyboard, because this is going to be a quick. I'm not going to give you a while to think about it. Okay. So you've been warned. All right. So first announcement, what is coming soon? And I know a bunch of you are going to be really thrilled about this, is fractional shares. We have that ready for release up in the next coming weeks. That's the first thing that we're rolling out. Okay. Now, this impacts several things if you can kind of connect the dots, right? Because sometimes some of our more robust, big smart folios without fractional shares, they cost quite a bit to invest, right? The minimum required amount to invest in some of these bigger smart folios is like sometimes thousands of dollars. And not everybody has that or wants to contribute, thousands of dollars to try out a smart folio. This really brings down that barrier to entry, and it evens it out. Now, I will mention that it's not like the minimum required investment goes away completely, because it's not like you can invest $1 and invest in like 30 different stocks. There's a limit to how much fractional can actually get. So we're still calculating that sweet spot. But it'll be like in the few $100 range. I'm going to guess that it's going to be around $500 for now, but don't quote me on that. So it'll just even out the barrier to entry for all of the different smart folios, regardless of how many stocks are inside of them. So I know that's really cool. Sound off in the comments how you feel about this upcoming release of fractional shares. Let me know what you think about it. Sound off in the comments section below. Now, next, coming soon, and you might already have seen this because the allocations already kind of or a little bit of a spoiler alert for me here, but the smart folios are getting completely revamped. Over the years, we've added more and more smart folios, pure and simple. Now there's more than 10 of them, right? And what we found is, with that many, you might face analysis paralysis, or like there's a dilemma in which ones to choose if you only have a small amount of investing capital. So what we're doing is we're consolidating a lot of them, and we're going to break it down into 3 investment categories, right? Aggressive and conservative on the 2 ends, and then one that is a balance of both. So we're going to call that the balanced one. Okay. And lastly, and I know a bunch of you're going to love this, is recurring deposits are coming. Both into the individual accounts and into the retirement accounts. You can expect recurring ACH deposits, so you don't have to manually come in and deposit money yourself anymore. Okay, I know that this is so we have a lot of positive reaction here. Noreen says excellent option. Rafal saying that it's great. Yes, I'm personally thankful for this too. This is a lot of great stuff. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to email. Let me put up the email address here. If you have questions about anything we covered today, because we did cover a lot today, just email mailbag@iflipinvest.com. Either Lee or I will get to your question right away. Okay. Now, it's the fun stuff. It's trivia time. Okay. And today we're actually going to be announcing 2 winners. If you were one of the recipients of our survey that we did, we sent out a survey to people with a funded account for a certain amount of time. And if you responded, then you were entered automatically for a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. So we're going to select that winner live right now. So I'm not like making it up or whatever. Okay. All right. Now, let me just share this screen here. Now you can see there's a what I really love about this is that we got 100 entries exactly. That's what I really love.
Wow.
So here's a game for the rest of you. Okay, so I'm about to pick a winner right now. That's the winner of the $100 gift card for Amazon. Okay, now our usual prize for trivia is what it is the recording of the Mastering the Markets event from back in October. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback about it, so it's totally worth it. It's a $500 value. Now, your job is to pick a number between 1 and 100, because all of these names have a number next to them. Whatever number is associated with the winner is the winning number, and whoever enters the closest to the winning number is our winner for the evening. Okay, so before I actually click this, because this wheel goes quick, give it some thought, consult your whatever superstition you believe in, and select a number between 1 and 100. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do so, and then I'm just going to go ahead and click the wheel of the spinning wheel here. Okay, all right, starting now. Okay, I have a couple of entries in, and I'm going to spin the wheel. Last second entries, everybody. All righty. How do I spin the wheel? How do I spin this thing? Oh, I just click on it, obviously. All right, wheel is spinning, and our winner is Clifford Elgin wins our $100 gift card. Clifford, if you're here, sound off. You just won $100 for filling out our survey for an Amazon gift card. So sound off if you're here. Now, what is the number that was closest to 17? That would
23, I
be
believe.
23. So Roger Yim is our winner for you. Just won the Mastering the Markets recording, Roger. Congratulations. Now, how do you collect on this prize? Because it's not enough that you just picked the correct number and you were selected as the winner. You also have to show us, email us to, where is that email? Mailbag at iFlipinvest.com, either with a screenshot of your iFlip account showing that you're invested in at least one Smart Folio, or what a lot of people have done is they just send us the account number and we can verify it that way as well. You have, in order to collect on these prizes, you have to be invested in at least one Smart Folio, and then we'll respond with the access instructions for the recordings right away. And and of course, if you have any other questions, just sound off in the comments below or email mailbag at iFlipinvest.com. We did go a little bit over time today, so I do apologize for that, but I hope the announcements for what's coming was worth it and exciting. I hope you're souped up as much as I am about the cool new things we have going on at iFlip. Starting with fractional shares and then some. If you enjoyed this content, you got something out of it, please do us a favor once again and help us out with the YouTube algorithm and smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure the notification bell is on so you don't miss another live stream from the iFlip YouTube channel. And we will see you next week for the AI Circle. Good night, everybody.